An encouraging step takes place in a plan to get detained Americans home from Iran. And a 300,000-year-old skull is raising new questions about humans. The rundown starts now. This is Straight Arrow News, bringing you unbiased, straight facts. Today is Friday, August 11th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. 5 Americans imprisoned in Iran have been placed under house arrest in what U.S. officials are calling a significant step in their return home. The Americans have been held prisoner in Iran for several years, one being imprisoned for nearly 8. The move is part of a planned prisoner exchange that would see the release of roughly $6 billion in Iranian government assets currently frozen in South Korea under U.S. sanctions. Secretary of State Antony Blinken told reporters Thursday that the move is an encouraging start for the Americans' return.
My belief is that this is the beginning of the end of their nightmare and the nightmare that their families have experienced.
Back in 2015, then President Barack Obama came under fire from Republicans for a similar deal with Iran. Now President Joe Biden is receiving the same reaction. Among the Republicans voicing their concerns with the deal, Senator Jim Risch of Idaho, who posted on social media, quote, "While I welcome home wrongfully detained Americans, unfreezing $6 billion in Iranian assets dangerously further incentivizes hostage-taking and provides a windfall for regime aggression. The Biden administration must punish those who use Americans as political pawns and work to end this practice." Due to current U.S. sanctions, Iran would only be allowed to use the funds for food, medicine, and other humanitarian purposes. As part of the proposed swap, an unknown number of Iranians detained in America will be transferred back to Iran. Officials say the transfer of the money and the release of the 5 Americans are expected in the next month. The wildfires that have torn through Hawaii's island of Maui is now responsible for killing at least 55 people. It's one of the deadliest wildfires in recent U.S. history. More than 50 others were pulled from the Pacific Ocean and rescued by the Coast Guard, dozens of people jumping into the water to escape the flames closing in. With Maui being a sought-after tourist destination, airports have been slammed over the course of several days as thousands of visitors tried to leave. 1,100 tourists flew out Wednesday, another 1,500 Thursday, and similar numbers are expected to follow. President Biden declared a major disaster on Maui. FEMA is sending resources their way as the island's charred reality begins to set in. Russia has launched its first mission to the moon in nearly 50 years. Its rocket is in a race with India, which launched its lunar lander last month. Only 3 governments have ever managed to successfully land on the moon: the United States, China, and the Soviet Union. Russia and India are aiming to be the first to land on the moon's south pole. This location piques the interest of scientists who believe its permanently shadowed craters just might contain water. It was a busy day in the skies and beyond as billionaire Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic rocket-powered spaceplane flew almost 55 miles high, carrying its first group of tourists after decades in the making, including a mother-daughter duo who won tickets to join the ride. Branson's Virgin Galactic now joins Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin and Elon Musk's SpaceX in its ability to offer monthly rides as the space tourism business expands. Tickets for Virgin Galactic will cost you $450,000. New data from the CDC shows that suicides reached a record high in 2022. About 49,500 people died by suicide last year in the U.S. That's the highest number ever, and a 5% increase from the previous record high in 2018. Rates had fallen in 2019 and 2020 during the first year of the pandemic, but in 2021, suicides were once again ticking upward. People ages 65 and older saw the largest increase in suicides, while for young people, it was the opposite. Those ages 10 to 24 saw an 8% drop. The CDC credits this to a higher awareness and emphasis on mental health. A national crisis line launched a year ago, meaning anyone in the U.S. can dial 988 to reach mental health specialists, something the CDC hopes will help lower the unprecedented suicide rates. If you live in or plan to visit San Francisco and need to hail a cab, you may be surprised who's behind the wheel, because now there's a good chance it could be nobody. On Thursday, the California Public Utilities Commission voted in favor of expanding driverless taxi service in the city. This despite vocal opponents of the technology who claim the cars to be potential road hazards. While these driverless cars have not led to any major crashes, they have been known to shut down on the roadway when encountering an obstacle like a fire hose. Cruise, owned by General Motors, operates 300 vehicles during the night and 100 during the day. Alphabet-owned Waymo has a fleet of 250 used in the daytime. An executive with Cruise called the decision a, quote, historic industry milestone. Finally this morning, a discovery by a team of international researchers. A 300,000-year-old skull is said to be unlike any other found before. Those who located the skull in eastern China say it is, quote, unexpected and does not fit into any known classification. Though discovered in 2015, the researchers just released their findings in the Journal of Human Evolution. The skull is believed to have belonged to a 12 or 13-year-old. The study's author says more work needs to be done to properly place this discovery on the human family tree. Those are your top stories this Friday morning. Thank you for choosing Straight Arrow News as your trusted source. And now you can know the second the rundown is available with the Straight Arrow News app. The app is free to download in the Apple and Google Play app stores. Just search Straight Arrow News, then make sure to turn on notifications for the rundown, and you'll get alerted each weekday morning when it's time to watch. Unbiased, straight facts, that's Straight Arrow News. We'll see you back here on Monday. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great weekend.